They say that talking to yourself is a sign of insanity. But I think that's only if you answer back, right? Right. This is Talking to Myself, an art advice podcast where I use anecdotes from my life to try to make myself a better artist and hopefully a better person. While other people might find this useful, mostly I'm just trying to avoid paying for therapy. This time on the podcast, I thought we'd talk about giving up. And I know that doesn't sound terribly hopeful, but trust me, we'll get there. This one is, as usual, is something that relates mostly to my own personal experience. I often, lately and in general, hit brick walls in what I'm trying to do. I run into a lot of resistance from what feels like outside forces. The lack of hope for betterment or achievement in what I'm doing. For instance, and this is the anecdotal part, these are just general things. I've been doing quote-unquote freelance art for probably 10 years. And in that time, I've done maybe 20 projects. That's not a lot. I mean, 2 a year. They're not big projects either. These are like single commissions or little things like that. But to counter that, I'm going to counter each of these as I go along because waiting until the end is too much to keep track of. To counter that, the reason why I have so few projects over so long a time is because I'm not looking for them either because I'm concerned that I don't have the skill level available. I don't understand the market properly. I don't know where to look. And or I'm promoting myself poorly in whatever markets I do try. So the reason for the supposed failure here is not due to the lack of performance in the task that I'm trying to do. It's mostly in things around the task, like getting up enough gumption, for want of a better word, to do the thing, to seek out the thing, and to try to be serious about it. And that is one of the hardest things, is trying to take yourself seriously when no one else seems to. So that's one way around that, is clearly I just need to take it more seriously. And this year I've been trying to do that a little better. I'm reaching out to people for collaborations. I'm not becoming discouraged quite as instantaneously as normal, but it still happens. A couple of years ago, I started streaming live art on Twitch, twitchtv.com/NathanSiebold. I call my show The Monster Party because I wanted to feature music and art at the same time, like if you went to a party and some cool people were hanging out and talking, and as a chance for me to just have some time during the week to make art, which may or may not have been the right model for Twitch, because a lot of the popular Twitch shows, even the art shows, seem to have a different format. Twitch seems to be more about interaction, or more likely watching someone play a game that you yourself either don't have access to or are interested in someone else's take on. So while the Twitch platform seems to be built around shared experience, it's not enough to watch someone make art, apparently. You need to interact with them a lot, like more than I'm used to, more than I'm comfortable with generally. Now, I enjoy making art in a group with other people. I really do. That's one of my favorite things to do, is hang out with other creative people and make art. I have a couple of friends that I go see every week, and we make art together. They make stuff, I make stuff. It's not related, and we're not even critiquing each other. It's just the energy of being at the table with some people and everybody's making something. That really helps me work. I was hoping Twitch would be like that too, but what Twitch feels like instead is standing in the middle of a shopping center painting something as people casually walk by and occasionally say something, and I feel compelled to either focus on the painting to make a better painting or interact with the people. And the painting is a more natural feeling for me, obviously, but what the people want is interaction. Now, I'm painting it with a pretty bad brush here. It's not as bad as I'm making it sound, obviously. But my numbers on Twitch are pretty pathetic for 2 years of streaming. I've gotten past the first hurdle, becoming an affiliate, which is pretty easy to do, really. It's a low bar. But I don't even have numbers to do that now. If I was trying to become an affiliate with the numbers I have now compared to viewers and stream time and what that kind of thing, I wouldn't make it, because I'm not super popular on there. And that's, to get around to defending this, it's not so much that I don't think the art is worth looking at, or that my interaction is that bad. It's pretty bad, but it's gotten a lot better. But the show I'm doing is not the show people want to see. It's not interactive enough. It's not performative enough. And I don't think I want to do a performative show. I don't see my art as performance art. If you want to watch me sketch something, or if you want to talk about how to do stuff, that's fine. I love doing that. We can talk about educational stuff all day, and I can show you techniques I'm using, and you can watch me do it. But to hang out with people and draw at the same time takes too much of my concentration, because I'm kind of introverted. Some would say antisocial. It takes a lot of energy for me to interact with people, especially strangers. And on Twitch, everyone feels a little bit like a stranger, even if you know them personally in real life. They're just words on the screen, man. I mean, you don't have any inflection to go on. They're all kind of flat affect, and it feels like you're talking to a bunch of strangers. And, 90% of the time they are strangers. So the energy it takes me to interact with those people in that environment is more energy than it would take me to do the art. And I'm afraid that if I focus on interacting with people over the art, the quality of the art's going to drop, and people aren't going to be as interested in looking at it as they even are now. It's a quandary. I don't know what to do. So yes, I have thought about giving up on Twitch. I've thought about giving up on art, especially as a career thing, as a business. I've considered that seriously, and not infrequently. But what I've come around to is I enjoy doing art on Twitch. It's a little disheartening when other people don't seem to enjoy it as much, maybe. But there's always the possibility someone new can come by and see this stuff, and that's exciting to me. I always get a lot more done when I stream. The days, like the weeks that I don't manage to stream for some reason or another, technical problem or whatever, I don't get as much art done. I just don't. Because it's hard for me to find time to force myself to take art seriously sometimes. Because I've got other problems. I've got other concerns that are more quote-unquote real-world concerns. Since I don't earn my living making art, it's difficult for me to put that in the first position, to the front burner, And I want to. I really do want to. I'd love to spend, my work day making art. I can't do it. I work like a 10-hour day most of the days of the week. And it's physical work, so a lot of times after that, I'm tired. And mentally drained as well, even though it's not a very mentally challenging job. Just the idea of the monotony of it kind of rots away at your will. So that after several hours of monotonous multiple tasks, I'm creatively drained. I can't do anything good. And that's why I stream Twitch on the weekends. Because without it, some weeks I wouldn't have any art at all. And that's unacceptable. Even if I gave up art as a career, decided to never draw for money again, I'd still have to make art as much as I could, because I really enjoy it. That's why I thought maybe I could make some money off of it. That could be my career. It'd be great. But it's been really hard. And everyone will tell you it's not easy. I understand that. But because it's a little bit hard, I've been making it really hard. What I mean by that is, because I get a little discouraged, I'll find excuses to procrastinate, or I'll find some reason why maybe I shouldn't work on that drawing today, or maybe I shouldn't accept that collaboration offer. I've got a comic book cover project right now that some guy wants to collaborate with me, and I'm kind of interested. I really want to do it, but I have yet to put pencil to paper about it, because I find it easier to not. It's weird, man. I know that it's important. I know that I need to do these kind of things to get my work out there, and to collaborate with other people is really good for that. So there's lots of reasons why I should do this. And I'm still mulling it over my head. I'm planning on doing it, by the way. I'm going to do it. So if you happen to be listening to this, sir, I'm doing it. The question is, how much force is it going to take for me to do it? And how can I build up enough willpower to do that? Usually the way I do this kind of thing is I'll have to put aside other things, exclude them, especially things I want to do. I'll make those the reward. It's like, if you manage to do this thing, then you can do the thing you want to do. Which doesn't always work, because by the time I force myself to do something I wasn't really into, I don't have the energy or creativity left to do the things I really wanted to do. But at least I have something made, which is better than me not doing anything. So how do I get out of this? How do I recover from this malaise, this crushing self-doubt that makes me want to quit a lot? I mean, It's hard to do this podcast, and it takes almost no time. I can turn out a 10-minute podcast like this in probably 3 hours of work, of effort. That's not much. 3 hours a week, not much, man. You guys deserve better than that, quite frankly. But sometimes it's hard to even do that. Today's not that hard because I had an idea that I really wanted to put out there for everybody, not just me this time. It's aimed at me because I'm the one that always feels like I'm going to quit because I'm, weak or whatever. And here's my message to future self. Hey, future self, if you're still alive, I know you haven't quit because you like doing art and you're going to do it anyway. So just remember, there's always a reason to keep on going. Maybe there's a reason to change into a different path, but you need to keep moving forward. The saying goes, quitters never win and winners never quit. That's kind of, macho crap, mostly sports stuff, but it's more like winners sometimes quit and quitters sometimes win. You have to keep in mind that quitting doesn't mean it's not final. It's not an entire thing. You don't just stop doing what you're doing if you like it. There are ways to do what you like that are different from what you're doing now and maybe better. Don't think because the thing you're enjoying doing now seems to be slamming your head up against the wall constantly that's the only way you can do it, and that if you don't see any other way to do it, it's either that or quit. That's not the case. You can do, let's say, I'm doing art now, right? I'm doing more digital art now because it's faster. And I can't seem to sell any of it at the moment because I'm not really trying, quite frankly. That's why. But if digital art became a problem for me for some reason, like I found it difficult, there's other things. You can do sculpture. You can do pencil drawings, do something simpler. If what you're doing is too complicated, do something simpler. If what you're doing is too simple and easy and you're not enjoying it, do something more complicated. You still can stay in the world of producing art, even if making art has become tedious or difficult for you. And specifically, I'm talking to you, future self, because I know you love making art and you really shouldn't stop. So bottom line, it's okay to quit as long as you only quit the things that are causing you problems. And it's okay, and you'll be a winner because you can keep going. Winning in this case just means not stopping. Quitting and stopping, different things. So, hopefully, this meandering craziness, this verbal diarrhea that I throw out here every week is helpful to somebody, even if it is only my future self. Although I know you're not going to listen to this future self because you are lazy. But hopefully you'll remember making it. As always, thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully this gave you some help or inspiration. Or at the very least, you can laugh at me, like I do. Special thanks to my supporters on Patreon. You guys get to see these and hear these a week earlier than everyone else, along with bonus stuff, things. There's a monthly image there for you. There are going to be some coloring book pages coming up soon that you can print out at home and color yourself, put on your fridge, impress your parents. And you guys are the shiniest people I know. So until next week, everybody, maybe don't quit. Change if you need to, but keep going. And I'll see you next time.